Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today it's time for another Bucket List-athon update. So this is the third week of Bucket List-athon and so we have one more week to go. So keep on chugging along guys, keep on checking off those goals. The end of the year is on its way. It is crazy how quickly this year has gone. And this week I was rather productive, I think, in Bucket List-athon, so I'm excited to tell you guys what I've read. So first, I mentioned this in last week's video, The Burning Page is the third book in the Invisible Library series, and I did just finish this today, so I can check this off my list. This was on my TBR for a 5-star prediction. It is not a 5-star, unfortunately. I rated it a 4.25, but it is still absolutely fantastic. I think if you haven't heard me talk about this series, it is about the Invisible Library, which is a library that keeps and holds dear all of the unique things about all these different universes and dimensions. So you have all these different Earths that have their own unique versions of really specific books that these librarians go out and collect and bring back to the library. There are dragons and fae and vampires and werewolves involved, and you are following two main characters, Irene, who is a librarian who works for the library obtaining different books and things, and then her assistant Kai. And I think the reason this one wasn't quite a 5-star for me is because it was really, I think, more developing the through line story. If you heard me talk about this, I think in my series video, my top series video, I talked about the fact that these could be read as standalones, and this book kind of makes me feel like they can't be. So we'll see as I continue further down the series if that continues to be true. I think that this book in particular, you would be a little lost if you hadn't read the first two books. Now, the first two books do have their own mystery and their own world, essentially, that Irene and Kai go to. And the dynamics of that world is what you learn throughout the book. And so I do think those stand up pretty well by themselves. But there is this through line mystery that some of the culminating events do happen in this book. And I think that that's why this book kind of felt like it was tying up some questions. There's still that through line mystery is still going to continue on into the next book. But there are, well, I think, I actually don't know. Now that I think about how it ended, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I really liked it. I'm really excited to continue on with the series. So not a 5-star prediction, but still an excellent book. Next, I also finished Rewitched, which I don't own a copy of, but this was the buddy read that we did for the community within our Discord. So if you joined me or if you are still reading the book, I did comment in the Discord and let you guys know my thoughts on the overall story. I ended up rating it a 3.75. I do think that it was really cute and really cozy. If you haven't heard of Rewitched, it's about a witch who essentially is challenged to a trial of sorts on her 30th birthday, and she didn't realize throughout her entire life that she was supposed to be preparing for it. And she's kind of let her skills get a little lax, and so she's really worried about the trial. She could potentially have her powers taken away, and it's about the steps that she goes to make sure that that doesn't happen. And it is very cute. It's very sweet. It has found family vibes, but I think that it was fairly surface level with a lot of the characters. I think that the conclusion was a little, I don't want to say convenient because that's not the right word, but I wasn't a big fan of how everything wrapped up. It wrapped up very quickly. I think that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to give anything else away. If you want more details, you should check out the buddy read section in the Discord and you can get all of the gritty details on why this book wasn't like my favorite thing ever, but I'm happy that I read it. Like I said, it was a good time, but it's probably going to be a book I don't remember that I read a year from now. Next, I have a friend recommendation that I am going to call this good, even though it was a DNF. Unfortunately, I had Ring Shout recommended to me and I got to 41% of this book, and I think it's just not the right time for me to read it. There's nothing against the book, but I was so lost. This book is very short. It's like a 6-hour audio. And I got about 40% of the way and I had no idea what was happening. I was very confused. I wasn't engaged in the storyline. I tried to reread and my mind just kept you know, lollygagging on different things. And so I don't think it's the time for me to pick this book up. So I am going to call it a DNF, but DNFs count, my friends. They clear off your mental space for other books that you want to read. So they are achieving goals in my mind. I also finished When the Moon Hatched. This book was a hyped read. So that was the prompt that I was reading this for. And I rated this a 1 star, my friends. This was not a great book for me. I'm so disappointed because there are a lot of things about this story that I really did like, but I do not like this author's writing. And I don't like some of the choices that were made for the characters. I don't like the fact that I don't think that this is a romance book, to be honest. This is supposed to be fantasy romance or romantasy, but I feel like this is more of an infatuation than it is a romance, in my opinion. And I know that a lot of people disagree with me. This is a lot of people's best book of the year. So obviously I am in the minority with this. I was distracted by how descriptive the writing is. I think that a lot of the language choices of the author are just not for me and overly complicate a very simple narrative. I was frustrated that the fantasy creatures in this book, the dragons, but also the other things that the author happens to bring in during various escapades throughout the book, are not more front and center in the storyline. And I know, it's a romantasy. It's supposed to be about the romance, but really 70% of the book isn't about the romance. It's about the storyline. So there's every opportunity for this author to make this an incredible fantasy world, and I just don't think that it was achieved. So it's my opinion. I know a lot of people disagree, and if you love this book, I am so happy for you. It just wasn't for me. I am also going to go ahead and throw this on here as well, and this could technically be a friend rec, even though it wasn't really a recommendation. It was more of a buddy read. I buddy read this with Katie over at I Would Rather Be Reading, and this is Teller of Small Fortunes, if you can't read the title, which is another cozy fantasy. And this is another one that I gave a 3.75. So the cozy fantasies aren't hitting like they have in the past. I do think that this was cute. Once again, it's another book that I am happy that I read, and I was really enamored with the story at first. I really like this ragtag group of individuals who are traveling with this fortune teller to try and find this lost little girl. And the fact that they all come from different paths in life was amazing to read about, but unfortunately the character development kind of stops there. It's very surface level. A lot of the trauma and the characters' past elements that get brought up that are issues with, like, they are the things that the characters are working through, are kind of just glossed over whenever they get resolved. And that was just kind of disappointing to me. I think the story was very fun. It was fast-paced, other than the fact that the chapters are quite long. But other than that, I think the audio was good. I do like some of the themes of talking about fortunes in this, and the fact that people don't really want their fortune. They want you to lie to them about some good things that could potentially happen. And I appreciated the conversation surrounding family and how family doesn't necessarily always have to be your blood. I did like the cat in this, even though he was not she was not a main character in the book, but I do think she was a fun element. So I had fun with it, but once again, probably not a book I will think on. So that means that I have 3 prompts that I still need to accomplish in order to check off all of my Bucket List-athon prompts. One of those is a buddy read, and technically I could count Rewitched for the buddy read with someone new because I buddy read with everyone in the Discord, but my original plan was to buddy read The City of Blades with Rod on the Discord, and I am excited to get to this. I'm just waiting for I'm waiting for my hold to come in. So I do have every intention of reading it, but my library is holding me up right now. So fingers crossed I will get it before the next time I check in with you guys. I also need to cross off a physical TBR book, and that was The Fury of the Gods. I have not started this yet, so I am going to start it tonight. So hopefully I can get it done within the week and report back to you guys. This is also going to finish a series for me, which I am really excited about. And yeah, this is the final the third book in the Bloodsworn Saga by John Gwynne, which is a Nordic mythology inspired story, and it's just been fantastic. You have a lot of war elements, you have clashing of different peoples within this really cold landscape that has these massive creatures, and the creatures have certain powers. There are descendants of those creatures, and oh, it's so complex and it's so good. I've had such a fun time. And lastly, I am still reading Lud Luda. I have talked about it in every update I've given you guys. I am currently at 85%, so I am slowly making my way through, but since it is my nighttime read, it is a read that I get like 5 or 10 minutes of every day, so that's why it's going so slow. But fingers crossed, I have 3 books that I have to read prior to the next time I talk to you, prior to the 15th. So actually, not prior to the next time I talk to you, I think it's the time after that, because I think I have 2 more updates that I'll have to give you. One next week, and then one the week after. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But the last video I know I'm going to put out on the 19th. To just update you on whether or not I met all of my goals for Bucket List-athon or not. Of course, you guys are welcome to continue until the end of the year, but my goal is to get all of the check boxes done by December 15th. On to my favorite part of these videos, which is the Booktuber highlights. And this week I have 2 brand new Booktubers for you guys, so please go and give them some love. I will link their channels in the description down below for easy access. Tell them you came from Bucket List-athon. The first Booktuber I have for you guys is only a week old, and I'm so excited. She has 1 video up. Her name is Stephanie, and her channel name is @Books&Arrows. Stephanie is a Brazilian booktuber who enjoys fantasy and biographies and reading to get to know other cultures. And one of my favorite things that she says in her booktube newbie tag, which is the video that she has posted, is the fact that reading is the close as someone can get to having superpowers, because you get to be in someone's mind and see through their eyes. And I just love that sentiment. I think it's lovely. I hope that you continue to make videos, Stephanie. Welcome to Booktube. The next Booktuber I have for you guys is Erica over at Rick's Reads. And Erica actually talks about the fact that she really enjoys alliteration, and some of her friends call her Rick. So Rick's Reads was her channel name, and I think it's absolutely lovely. Erica has been on Booktube for 1 month. She enjoys reading fantasy, classics, but a whole bunch of other things as well. She loves coffee. She describes herself as a mood reader, which is why she doesn't just stick to one genre. And she also is one that likes to read and connect that to her travels, because one of the videos on her channel is actually the books by Japanese authors prior to her visit to Japan. So go and check out these 2 lovely booktubers. I would love for them to get a warm welcome from our Bucket List-athon patrons. So once again, their information is in the description down below. So that is it for my week 3 Bucket List-athon update. Thank you guys so much for coming along on this journey with me. It's been a lot of fun. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below letting me know how your Bucket List-athon journey is going. Are you accomplishing your goals? Have you switched some things around? Have you found some favorite reads? I would love to chat with you guys. If you are not feeling chatty because of all this talk of travel that we've had, leave me a little airplane emoji in the comments if you just want to let me know you're here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.